Airhose is used to reduce volume in a net. The fish are gathered in a smaller area, which makes it easier to collect them. Airhose is mainly used when the fish are harvested, sorted or treated for lice. The airhose consists of the following components: hose, rope going through the hose, end pieces in PE material mounted in each end of the hose, ball valve for air filling, eye bolt. The rope going through the hose is spliced into nuts for eye bolts on the inside of the end piece. The end pieces are put into the hose in each end and attached with a hose clamp. Tape and wire mesh is fastened outside the hose clamp. Both length and buoyancy on the air hose must be dimensioned in relation to the net in the fishing farm location. The air hose can pose a risk in terms of fish escaping and fish welfare. When it comes to fish welfare, risks are related to stress, pockets in the net that can lead to fish being squeezed and damaged, and fish being caught in too small volume for too long. It is therefore important that the hose is only used when weather and current conditions allow it, and that internal procedures are followed. A safe job analysis can be carried out before the process starts. Always check the air hose before use. Air hose being moved between locations must be disinfected. Always check the hose and end pieces before storage. Components with damage or tears must be replaced. Air hose should be stored properly to avoid any damage to the hose. Air hose, which will no longer be used, can be returned to one of Airhose Net's service facilities. They will handle it in accordance with their waste management programme. A person with experience and appropriate competence must be responsible for the operation. Air hose can only be used when weather and current conditions allow it. Check the conditions and make a plan for placing the air hose and the fish farming vessels. Air hose must always be checked before use. Make sure that the hose is intact and that the end pieces are not damaged. Also check that the ball valve and eye bolt are intact. Before the operation starts, any load from weight under the net must be removed. Loose items and extra equipment such as power wires and cleaner fish hides must be secured or removed. Ropes for pulling the air hose must be clean and without damage. There must not be unnecessary knots that can get stuck in the netting. The air hose is driven out from the workboat. It can be pulled around the net in one direction or to both sides of a net. The hose is filled with air until the desired buoyancy is achieved. When the end of the hose has come around the net, a strap is used around the hose to further reduce the volume. This is repeated until desired volume is achieved. When pulling the air hose, it is important to monitor the operation. The air hose must be pulled as slowly as possible to look after the fish welfare and HSE, and to minimise the risk of damage to the net. Pay close attention and make sure that the air hose has sufficient buoyancy and does not bend. This can cause damage to the net. It can also lead to fish being squeezed in pockets in the net. If there is a suspicion that something may be wrong, the operation must be stopped immediately, and the incident must be investigated further. After use and before storage, the air hose must be checked for damage.